If you are Kenyan between the ages of 18 and 45, I promise you, you're not angry enough. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it takes to purchase a property through a Kenyan bank that is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. So imagine this, you are a Kenyan fresh into the workforce, dreaming of owning a home. You picture a 4-bedroom house in a serene neighborhood. Let's say, for example, I reside in Eldoret. So this is a hypothetical scenario that we will use to show you exactly what it takes to do this. A house like that costs approximately 20 million shillings in Eldoret, and this is in a very beautiful, serene neighborhood, which is very family friendly. You say, okay, let me get a mortgage, right? Because who has 20 million shillings just lying there in the bank? First of all, we'll go through all the requirements that your local bank will ask you to have before they approve your mortgage. So I did go to several banks in Kenya, and this is all the documents that were required. I hope this information will help you the next time you want to make a decision to get a mortgage to finance your housing or property. The house costs 20 million shillings. The bank will require that you raise 20% of that 20 million shillings. In that case, that will be 4 million shillings. If you have managed to save that, first of all, congratulations. You are in the top 0.01% of young Kenyans. Let's say you want to get a 10-year mortgage, the bank will fund 16 million shillings of the whole mortgage, but all the bank managers I went to, they all recommended that I take an extra million shillings, that is 17 million shillings, so that I'm able to fund miscellaneous expenses, including stamp duty, legal fees, insurance, and all extra costs. The interest rates in many banks, as we speak at the moment, are fixed interest rates. On average, the interest rates range between 15.2% to 19.7%, and in some banks it goes all the way to 21%. All these interest rates are flexible, but they will tell you it's fixed. But once you're paying the mortgage and within the years go by and it changes, I promise you, you will, if the interest rate goes high, you will pay for that high interest rate. In my case, the best interest rate of all the 4 banks that I went to, I will keep the identities private for my safety, of course, was 19.2%. You will hear otherwise out there, but I promise you, the moment you are committing, you will see the papers, it is 19.2%. Before your bank approves you for your mortgage, they will require you to have the following things. First is your bank statements for the past 6 months. There's another bank that actually asks for 6 months, so up to a year, so it really depends on your bank. You also need your identification documents, and if you are a diaspora citizen, you need your documents to be notarized by an acknowledged notarizing organization by your country. This will include your bank statements, your identification numbers, your proof of residence, and all of that. You also need to prove that you have a sustainable source of income. This could be from a business that you're running or from your employment source. Let's say you're employed somewhere, and if you are employed, you will need a letter of employment confirmation from your employer, and they will need to write it and stamp it. In some cases, they might even ask for your retirement benefits. What is your projected retirement income? The state of your employment, whether it's on contract or it's on a permanent basis. By the time you're going to get the mortgage in the bank, you need to have gone to the property or the house that you're interested to buy. You need to have gone to the person who's selling, have sat down and created a sale agreement with both your lawyers, have the sale agreement signed, have everything in order, and take that to your bank. We'll go through mortgage agreements of 19.3%. As you can see on the screen, I read approval to process the customer's mortgage request of 17 million shillings, structured as house purchase to be secured by a legal charge of 17 million over residential property erected on Eldoret Municipality Block. I'll keep that away. For privacy purposes, the property is estimated to be worth over 20 million Kenyan shillings. The loan tenure will be 180 months at an interest rate of 19.3% per annum under a market rate lending terms. So the loan proceeds shall be utilized to complete purchase of property erected on title. As we continue, they will check your monthly average salary income, and then they will decide from there how much they will deduct from your salary. So the eligible loan limit is subject to approval and acceptability of security. So the bank will go through the documentation and everything and your sources of income. If they are comfortable that you will be in a position to pay back to the bank, this is what you'll be paying back. The eligible loan limit, which will be subject to approval and acceptability of security, is 17 million Kenyan shillings. And then the monthly installment after you've calculated using 19.3% per annum, comes to 289,816. We actually used a mortgage of 15 years in this case. So if you pay back your bank 289,816 per month for the next 15 years, if I had gone through this mortgage, the total amount that I'll have paid to the bank after 15 years would be 54,748,022. This is after me taking a loan, a principal loan of 17 million shillings from the bank. I don't even know what to say. If you decide to break this down and do 54 million shillings minus 17 million shillings, that's an extra 34 million shillings or even more that you'll be paying to the bank. If you do that, divide by 15, you'll be paying the bank a net income of 2.5 million shillings, literally every year. Like the bank will just be slipping, and just because they're giving you a loan of 17 million Kenyan shillings, they'll be making a net income of 2.5 million Kenyan shillings on average, minimum per year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Are you angry yet? So let's compare this to the US, where the mortgage rates range between 3% and the highest interest rates go to up to 6.7%. Yes, you had that right. These guys still complain about mortgages. Now, some people would argue with me and say that my values are not correct. There's only one exception to this. And the only exception to this is if you are a first-time mortgage applicant. Our former president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, left a leeway for us, where if it is your first-time mortgage application and you are taking a loan of up to 10 million shillings from the bank, you will get the first 10 million shillings at an interest rate of 9.5%. It's still too high. It's nowhere close to the developed countries. Even in Europe, people pay mortgage rates of 2%. 2%. So as a young Kenyan, do you think you're angry enough? Do you think so? It's time that our leaders start taking accountability and put the interests of especially young Kenyans who are the future of our country. Take our interests, take our future seriously. Some people would argue, just buy land and build a house from scratch. Where is the money to do that? There aren't even enough employment opportunities. I'm a medical doctor, and I can tell you that I know many people who finished school, went through bachelors of medicine and bachelors of surgery, and they're still out there job seeking. There aren't even enough jobs in the market. So let's talk in the comments. Is home ownership even possible for our generation? Or are we just going to work to pay rent forever? And remember, rent is increasing year in, year out. Please subscribe for more, and thank you so much for making us going viral on TikTok. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Press on that alert button so that you can be getting notifications whenever we post our next video. Our next video will be about car importation in the country. Everything that you need to know before you import a car in the country. Please do not import a car if you do not know what it takes to import a car, and that is what we're going to talk about in our next video. Thank you so much for all the old subscribers, for all the new people who are watching. This is Linda Biamdo. I'm a medical doctor, and thank you so much. See you in the next video.